Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Thanks to a 24-17 win over Purdue last Friday, Michigan State's football team has put themselves in position to become bowl eligible with a win in the final week of the regular season. MSU has a 5-6 record and will host Rutgers on Saturday with a chance to make its first bowl game since 2021. So with all that on the table, as well as Saturday being senior day, we had a chance to catch up with head coach Jonathan Smith this week to talk about what's on the line for his team. Final week of the regular season for you guys. The focus, is it more so on the bowl game or winning the game against Rutgers?
Well, you got to win the game ultimately, and so we understand the stakes that are there. And it's not just being able to postseason play, but it's our last home game. We got some seniors in this class, been around here a long time. We want to have them go out on the right foot and things like that. So focusing on this Saturday and the preparation we need to have to play well.
In your experience, what is the plus of making a bowl game and getting that extra month in the season with all those extra practices?
Yes, definitely the development, the extra practices is huge, but also it's just another month where this group gets to stay together and be around each other, right? And then again, laying a foundation for springboarding this program moving forward. That additional month is huge for the practices and overall morale that we're heading in a good direction.
You talked about the seniors. Obviously, senior day is going to be on Saturday. Guys like Cal Halliday, Maverick Hansen, and Montori Foster, they're guys who got recruited originally by Mark D'Antonio, played for a different coaching staff, and are now here with you. With today's day and age of transfer portal and guys leaving just so suddenly, does that just impress you, the way that they've been able to stick through things here at Michigan State?
Without question, and their experience and how much this place means to them and what they've given to this place. We want to be able to celebrate not just those three, but a lot of guys that have been around and been through some ups and downs. And obviously we try to play well for those guys in particular on a Saturday for their last experience at Spartan Stadium being a positive one.
Do you plan on doing anything like pregame with senior day, or how is that going to unfold?
We're going to recognize seniors, pregame, and have them, and hopefully have some family out there with them as they get announced to recognize them before the game.
It's Carter again. Carter out of that tackle and to the end zone.
Going back to the win over Purdue, I think you touched on it afterwards, a really tale of two halves, with the first half looking so good, scoring on every drive, and then obviously going scoreless in the second half. What did you feel like maybe changed, or just what was different in that second half?
Well, I think if you look at it offensively, some of the lack of detail, and then our third down play wasn't great to be able to continue to extend. I do feel like defensively, the third quarter was not great. They had a couple long drives where they punched it in, but in the fourth quarter, defensively, getting some critical stops, got a turnover. Those guys played well to help us win the game.
So the end one catch down, that's popped in the air. Saved by Turner. Off the deflection, he intercepts it.
Yeah, Jordan Turner got a pick in that. He's obviously a senior as well. What has he brought to this program in his first year and really only year?
It's brought a ton. I mean, on the field, obviously, the energy, the physicality he plays with, it means a lot to him. But even in that locker room, the game of football and the teammate that he is, that's why he was voted captain. We're definitely going to miss that guy.
With another captain with Aiden, second straight game of no picks. I know that's maybe not the highest of ceiling that you have, but hey, it's still no picks for him. Where has he just grown in that area of understanding what to do with the ball and how to take care of it a little more?
I think experience and his growth and decision-making, recognition of coverage, and working through some things. He's used his feet. He's done a nice job. I think about some of the red zone touchdowns he's thrown now, going to the right spots, accurate ball, making plays there. And so he's continued to improve, and we want to see him play his best ball this Saturday.
Has he gotten frustrated with himself or just with anything?
Sure. I mean, he's a competitive kid, right? And everybody has some ups and downs, and he puts a lot on his shoulders. And he really wants it more than just for himself. He wants to do it for the team, and he's done that in a lot of ways. And he continues to compete throughout the year.
Double-A gap blitz. They bring the house. Here's the throw. Hit as he throws. It's caught by Bryant. First down. 15, 10. House call. Touchdown. Pat Bryant from Luke Altmaier on fourth down.
now coming in Rutgers with their season so far, I know they're coming off a very tough loss with Illinois, but what have you seen with them that makes them a dangerous team?
Yeah, a really physical group, disciplined group. They don't beat themselves. They got a good running game. The running back's a really good player. Quarterback's got experience, good decision maker with it. They're really good on special teams. They challenge you there, and defensively sound, physical, and so they're a tough outfit.
It's been a year now since you've been hired here at Michigan State. I know your first year isn't over yet, but what's sort of the biggest takeaway you've had since being here at Michigan State now?
You still got a ton of excitement about it, and the work that has taken place. Encouraged by some of the things we're being able to get established, the people we're around, the setup after year one, feeling like we can get on a great trajectory and get this thing going over the next couple of years.
I feel like you've been a little lucky with the weather. It hasn't been too bad this time of year.
I agree. Even the 8 o'clock kick in November, it was cool, but it wasn't awful. And I've enjoyed the fall. It's been gorgeous around the state and here in East Lansing. So, yeah, we'll see what this winter looks like.
Kickoff between MSU and Rutgers is set for 3:30 on Saturday, meaning Michigan State will have gone an entire regular season without having a noon kickoff. Coming up after the break, we're going to be sharing one of the more powerful stories Michigan State has had off the field this season, and you will not want to miss it right after the break.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Just over 3 weeks ago, Michigan State defensive back Amarion Smith went on the national morning show Good Morning America. He and his family were surprised with a $40,000 check, a trip to Disney, and a brand new car. It was all to help support Amarion and his family, who have been through a lot this past year. Here is Amarion's story, told by his high school teammate as well as current teammate here at Michigan State, Nick Marsh.
This is a story about my friend Amarion. We were teammates at River Rouge High School, and now we're teammates at Michigan State. But he's more than a teammate, really. He's family. Recently, Amarion lost his mom, Gayla, to cancer. It was devastating. But then, he did something that we always seen him do on the football field. Amarion stepped forward to lead. Now, he's the legal guardian for his 4 younger brothers and sisters, balancing his role as our teammate with a much greater responsibility. This is a story about the bond of family, the support of community, and how the character of one person has made an impact on us all.
My mom, she was amazing, she was an amazing soul. She was a father and a mom of us, sacrificed a lot in our lives, just to make sure we were good and to make sure we were together all the time. Her life was always on defense because, she didn't have no man to back her up or stuff, so that's where I kind of filled in at.
When Amarion learned his mom had breast cancer, he was playing college ball in Cincinnati, but he transferred to Michigan State to be back with his family and prepare for the future.
She tried to prep me for it, what should we do, what's the plan? I told her I feel like I could handle the task of, taking all the kids in instead of letting them fall to foster homes or to be in a damaged household with their fathers because their father's not in their life.
Amarion would apply to be the legal guardian of the 4 youngest children so he and his 19-year-old sister could keep the family together. Meanwhile, since the bills were stacking up, family friends set up a GoFundMe account.
Hey, Yolanda Wilson, Nick's mom, she like, yeah, baby, you gotta share your story with the world. You don't know how inspiring and stuff you are to people.
Before Gayla passed, it was at nearly $20-something thousand. So for her to see that, oh, I'm sorry. For her to see that, she was ecstatic. She didn't think it was real. And she thanked me. And I know right now she's smiling because I promised her that they would be okay, and they are.
Amarion lost his mom on August 8th, 2024.
I don't know how to feel. Like, sometimes I feel lost. Sometimes I feel like I'm strong and numb. Sometimes I break down. I wish I had more time with my mom.
Today, Omarion's family is picking up the pieces and getting along the best they can through the heartbreak, but they're not alone. Omarion's story spread throughout the world, pushing the GoFundMe donations well into 6 figures.
People have donated furniture, gift cards for food, for clothes. So the outreach has been beyond our community and beyond our expectations, and they're all still grieving. So we're thankful for every bit of help.
As the community stepped in to help, so did HAP Care Source. They offered Omarion an NIL sponsorship to help ease his financial burden and share his story. Together, we created a public service announcement urging families to sign up for health insurance because we see so many people in our community struggle.
So it really does hit home for him. So our hopes is that people will see with HAP Care Source that it's not just about NIL, that it's about family.
It's just good for me and my family that they all feel safe, you know, everybody together, and they're able to be out here and adapt to a different lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? They're still adjusting, but like, it's good for all of us.
As of now, he's went through the entire custody situation to get custody of all the children, and he's doing the best he can on the field, off the field, and still trying to cope day by day.
I feel pretty confident, you know. I want to set a great example for them. Everybody listen, we all stick together, and we all attached to each other. They trust me, so I'm gonna steer them in the right direction.
No amount of money can replace Omarion's mom, but thanks to his unselfish love for his family and a caring community that recognized his sacrifice, his family now has a brighter future that his mom had always wished for.
She probably crying tears of joy right now. Like, this all like everything that's happening, like it's all the stuff she ever wanted. Get us in a different environment so we can focus and be normal kids, live comfortably, things of that nature, and then me being able to, you know, step up in the position I am in as a man, take care of them and stuff. I know she's so proud of me. Like, it's amazing, you know what I'm saying? It's really a blessing, and I really appreciate everybody who's supported us and showed us mad love, because we love you too as well.
Truly a special story, and as of this week, over $300,000 has been donated to the GoFundMe for the Smith family. We need to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking basketball with the Hall of Famer himself, Tom Izzo, as his team is set to begin Big Ten play next week.
On the football field, it's important to have really good coverage. The same goes for life. You need a teammate who's got your back, no matter what. Right now, you could choose a Medicaid plan. That means you get to decide if your current plan is right for you or if it's time to make a change. Visit the Michigan Enrolls website or call 1-888-ENROLLS. Take control of your health care today, because good coverage really matters, right, Nick?
I love getting out and trying new things. But my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now, I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
This week, the Michigan State men's basketball team was in Hawaii to take part in the Maui Invitational, a tournament very special for MSU head coach Tom Izzo. Back in 1995, Izzo picked up his first career win as the Spartans head coach in the Maui Invitational. It was a 69-66 win over Chaminade, and we recently had a chance to catch up with Izzo about going back to Maui. When you think about going back there, what's sort of the first memories that you have as a head coach?
My first game as a head coach, you know, I beat the hell out of Chaminade. I remember that being a tight game, and turn around, look on the bench, and there's Judd Heathcote and Magic Johnson sitting right behind me, and that was more pressure than losing the game. But we won the game and went on to play North Carolina. That was my first memory, my most memorable time was when Maurice Ager and we played Gonzaga. Him and Morrison went in a shootout. I think it was a triple overtime game. And so those are two of my biggest memories, I guess, of Maui. But now what's happened over there and everything that's gone on, I'm glad that my 5th trip back there, which is amazing. Great for Michigan State too, because they only take one every 4 years. That I'm going back and trying to rejuvenate that area, you know, because of the tragedy that happened.
Yeah, last year you had the exhibition with Tennessee to help benefit Maui. Going back, I guess, what are sort of the goals outside of basketball, maybe seeing the city or anything like that?
Yeah, you know, the problem for a coach when you go to Maui is you play 3 games in 3 days. There's very few tournaments that are set up that way. You know, usually you have a day in between, sometimes a day in between each game. And so to play 3 games in 3 days, there'll be no sunburn or beach time for me, but you do try to get the players out to be able to enjoy some of the sights. And, you know, they have a luau for us and they have some things planned.
Another big trip with this group. Obviously, you guys went to Spain over the summer, now Maui. What have you enjoyed so far about being able to bond with this year's team?
I have an incredible group of guys. I mean, you know, every coach says that about every team. And half the time you mean it, half the time it's coach speak. But I can say this, you know, going to the UP, going to there, going to the Tiger game, going to these different events has really helped build the bond with this team. And not only is it important that I get along with them, my assistants, but they get along with each other. And I think that's worth $1 million.
At the Maui Invitational this week, freshman guard Jace Richardson continued to show he is the real deal. And coming up after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Izzo to talk more about players on his roster like Richardson who have played well thus far in this season. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
With Tom Izzo in his 30th season leading the Michigan State men's basketball team and set to turn 70 in January, he has not shown any signs of slowing down. This offseason, Izzo had hip surgery and said he has felt the best he has felt in years. Now, his team's recent three-point percentage does change a little bit about how he's feeling, but he shared with us recently it does not change how he feels about this year's group. You entered this season saying you were healthier and happier than you have been in the last couple of years. You still feel like you're happier? I'm assuming you're still healthier.
I am healthier, and I mean, I'm happier because I like my team. What really puts a grind on you right now is the unexpected shooting that we've had. You know, and yeah, we did it a little bit last year early too, but somebody told me a great thing the other day. I think it was Mick Cronin from UCLA, that if you don't shoot well in the beginning of the year, you learn how to win ugly. But as long as you're still winning, then when the shooting comes, hopefully you put the two together. So I'm going to take his advice.
You talked about Jaden Akins needing to be like the go-to guy for this group. 25 points against Samford. It seems like watching him play, he has a lot more emotion and just energy when he does something well. I don't know if that's something I've missed the last couple of years, but have you noticed that too this year with him?
I think there is. Now, as we learned in the last game, one of those emotional things isn't always good too. So, but I think he's trying to show more leadership. He's trying to do those things, and that was so unlike him. Gets a technical for talking to their bench. I've never seen Jaden do that in my whole career. So maybe I have to, it was a critical time. I let him know it. But at the same time, I'm kind of excited that he's being more vocal We just got to curb it in the right direction.
When he is more vocal and playing with that kind of, I guess, swagger, how can that just help him on the court feel more, I guess, free and laid back?
Well, it helps him on the court. It helps my players on the court. And believe it or not, it helps me on the court, especially if it's channeled in the right direction, which it will be. I mean, he's a phenomenal kid. So I'm not worried about that in any way, shape, or form. But we do need some of that. You know, we do need a guy to lead. You know, that's one of the issues we have right now. But it's, you know, there's time.
Yeah, with Jace, how is he doing?
Holloway has it stolen away. Richardson on the run. One more slam.
Jace has been, you know, better than the billing. You know, I mean, he has a high basketball IQ, and the moments don't seem too big for him, and that's encouraging for us as we move forward.
It seems like despite being a freshman, he just plays with this effortlessness and this smoothness. When you were recruiting him, is that what you saw as well, or is there something you didn't expect?
He was always very smooth. He shoots it a little better than I thought, and it's hard I saw more in these AAU tournaments. It's hard to see his basketball IQ, but his basketball IQ is off the charts. He has one of the higher basketball IQs of guys that have played here, and I think that's boding well for him right now. And you know, I think nobody anymore plays like they're a freshman, so I think the year thing is being thrown out now. You just got to be a player, and he is a player.
Got to help too, his dad probably in his corner to help him get ready for this moment. But how has he really maybe been his own self too?
I think he's been his own self a lot. I mean, he's been raised right. You know, his dad played, his mom coached. So he's been raised by both of them. But they don't get over involved. I mean, I think that was one thing in the recruiting part of it. You know, Jace is here because he's Jace Richardson. And I'll tell you and everybody else, he was not recruited because he's Jason Richardson's son. He was recruited because he's Jace Richardson, the player. He's a different kind of player than his dad was. And in some ways, you know, there's going to be no competition between the two, but he does some things that he's done very well. So he's been well coached, and he's been well brought up. But he's Jace Richardson, and that's why I'm playing him and coaching him.
Another guy who's played some good minutes so far this season, Cohen Carr. Do you ever get sick and tired of seeing him just fly and slam that ball through the rim?
No, I never get sick of it. You know, it's been great. He brings energy to the crowd, but he has improved. You know, he's not just a dunker. His shooting isn't where it needs to be yet, and it's not where it's going to be because he works on it hard. But he's gotten better with the ball. He's gotten better defensively. He's getting better rebounding the ball. He's starting to become more of a complete player, and he's fun to be around. He's competitive. He's communicating better. So I think he has made good evaluation on your part because he's not a guy that's scoring 20 a game, but he's been an integral part in what we're doing.
You have a favorite dunk that he's had so far?
Every one of his dunks, there's never is it that's just, I mean, we say now, big deal, that's, you know, but there's never one that's just going up and dunking. There's always something to it. It's not for show. I think the hardest thing he has to do in practice, he gets up so high, sometimes he misses dunks because he's hitting it on the back of the rim because he's looking down on it. So, you know, incredible athlete, but an incredible player and a real good guy.
Entering this past Tuesday's game with Memphis at the Maui Invitational, the Michigan State men's basketball team ranked dead last in Division I in three-point percentage at 20%. 355 teams make up Division I college basketball, and MSU was at 355. Certainly a number they are looking to improve on, especially with Big Ten play beginning next for the Spartans. Their next game is going to be at Minnesota on Wednesday. That is going to be it for this week's show. As always, we hope you enjoyed. And before we go, here's our Play of the Week.
Now, the Play of the Week, sponsored by Schupan & Sons.
Last Wednesday, captain on the Michigan State women's basketball team, Nyla Hampton, got to show off the fancy handles as she would dribble through 4 defenders on her way to the hoop for the bucket, helping Michigan State take down Detroit Mercy 101-44.
10,000 children in Michigan are in foster care. Many are in need of a temporary home. Are you open?
As a foster parent, you help a child reach their goals.
You make a game-changing assist.
You give a child the home advantage.
And you do it because you know every child deserves a special team.
Ready to cheer on a child? Take the first step to become a foster parent today.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.